Wraggys Beers, Wines and Spirits review. That's better. It's when you're a gardener all day, phones get dirty. So, today I'm actually reviewing Buttermuch from Lincoln Green Brewing Company. It's actually about the fourth time I've reviewed it. But today's not really about the beer. It's more about a year ago. So a year ago to this date, I've been going through a tough time at work. A job the job itself wasn't too bad, but the environment was absolutely the most toxic environment you could ever walk into. There are jobs in life that you just I wasn't happy in the old job I was in for a good 6 to 8 months, possibly a year. I was looking, but didn't really see anything to tick the boxes, as it were, because I need a project. It wasn't the stage that I had to get out of that job. It was the stage that I was looking. If the right job came along, I would have gone for that job. So a job on Nottingham's Park Estate came along, and I was blindsided into thinking it was something more than it was. And it is a lovely estate. It could have been raggified and made into something absolutely amazing. I could have pushed it to the hilt. I could have made it look amazing had they given me the rein to do so. However, there are external influences, possibly the worst personality I've ever come across in my life. Too much a war between a contractor and a client, and there was so much negativity and awful year. And when you're not well with anxiety and all that, things get to you very, very more quickly. And not only did we have that, we had issues with mice and rats that managed to get into the house, which I'm telling you now is one of the most awful experiences that I've ever come across. And it didn't freak the kids and the wife out as much as it freaked me. It broke me, but I was already broken because of the work. It was like everything all at once. Trying not to let the family know that I was broken, that I was in a very ultra dark place. And then about a week ago, this time last year, or a week and a half ago, it would have been probably about a week or 2 weeks ago, so a week and 2 weeks last year, I went for a job interview at Cockliffe. And drove up, I'd already been to 3 different job interviews and got the job and turned the job down because they either wanted too much for the money, trying to turn me into a manager when all I wanted to do was a job where I'm basically looking after myself, not looking after gangs of people and having to be responsible, taking work home, although I do actually do that. You have to actually grow plants at home, and but that's my decision, my choice. But and then another one, the hours were just rubbish. The job was fantastic, the bloke to work for was amazing, but the hours were rubbish. 8 till 5:30, which means I'm going in rush hour, I'm coming back in rush hour, and the work would have been interesting. It was down my avenue. And then there was another job, and because of my qualifications and experience, most gardening jobs, not all, most gardening jobs I can walk into, really, because of that. It's not a big-headed thing. It's because I've been lucky in my life and been at the right place at the right time. Then I went for the job interview at Cockliffe, walked in, ooh, this is nice. And obviously, this was bang in the middle of COVID in August, this time last year. Actually, it would have been July when I went for the interview. Yes, it would have been July. Before we changed over to the new... so I was 2P'd over. I've never been 2P'd over in my life. Sounds like a wig. And I 2P'd over from the second biggest landscaping gardening company in the UK to some firm that I'm not going to name them on here because they're an absolute disgrace. They did not care about anything. And 2 seconds, I'm going to have to let my dog in. It's chucking it down with rain. Okay. Oh dear, oh dear. Don't normally have to do that on reviews, especially not thingy reviews. So anyway, I forgot where I bloody was now. Yeah, I had the interview, got there, got interviewed by this bloke, possibly one of the nicest boss type blokes. Just me and him, asking questions and that. And I was looking around and I was salivating at the job that was there. And then I got shown around the place, his aspirations, to see where he wanted to go with it. And this was just one site, bear in mind. And then there was an area that had been, oh my God, it had gone to rack and ruin, this area. And the grass was up here, and that's high enough. And it was like a derelict area. And yeah, I had the interview, and then it said I was interviewing somebody else, and God, I was impatient waiting for the interview. I needed an out. I was desperate, you know, never been so desperate in my life to get out of a job. I couldn't walk because you need the money, you know, it's, and a lot of these jobs, they don't, if you go without them, without giving the a proper notice, they can use it against you, take money off you, you know, just to be awkward, despite the fact that, you know, the job is god-awful, aspects of it as in people. Anyway. And today was the day I was told I'd got the job. Today, a year ago. And, you know, I remember there now, I was sat there. And even the bully boy, he was sat there with us. And biggest smile came on my face. And I asked how much notice I need to give. And the manager that was there turns around and says, hey, you can just walk. And I'm thinking, hey, get in. It's not quite what happened, because the first he says, you've got to give 4 weeks notice. Then you've got to pay for all your uniform. 230 odd quid. 4 weeks notice. 2p, my 2p regulations kicked in. They tried to get out of it. They kept trying. I went to ACAS. I went to my old company. 2p regulations stand. My new boss was disgusted with the way they treat staff. And I have left the god-awful review on their site, on Indeed, just so other people know, to avoid them like the plague. Because if this is how they treat staff, they are just disgusting human beings and disgusting company. And I pray that nobody goes to work for them, because The problem is with jobs these days, you do work for jobs, and it's only when you get there, when you're talked into going for these jobs, it sounds all hunky-dory. You get there, and it turns out to be a hellhole. Thankfully, a year on, this time last year, I was probably on something like 500 or 600 subscribers. It was going up due to COVID. And now 6 short of 1900 subscribers. So, you know, not that numbers mean anything in the grand scheme of things. Let's remember that. But not only that, the community, the beer review community, not just me, but the whole beer review community seems to have developed over this last year, that I've noticed at least. And, oh my God, it's piddling down. Good for the plants though. I've made friendships across the world, even not just the UK. I've, you know, some great beer reviewers out there who helped me join the community of beer reviewers, rather than just being the lone person that I was. I didn't even know the beer reviewers existed. I knew one existed because, well, two actually, because one, I watched him on TV, and I thought, I can talk about beers. And the other one actually came to me in the early days of the channel, Dean's Beer Review, top lad. And actually, I was on about doing like a collab beer review, and I was too scared shitless to do it like that. But in the last year, and you've got to remember this, before I got the yes for this job, there were days where I couldn't get off the settee. That's unusual for me because I can't sit down normally. Couldn't get off the settee. There was a moment of contemplation where I just thought, you know, and I've never ever contemplated suicide, never. But there was a moment of contemplation. And move forward, you know, my joining up of communities, my embracing of live beer reviews, and that the channel has grown, you know, at a nice pace. It'll only be a niche review thing as it is, but it's something that, you know, I'm proud of what we've accomplished. And hopefully I'll talk some sense sometimes when I'm doing beer reviews, hopefully. But moving forward, develop relationships with the likes of Castle Rock Brewery, which I'm proud of. Also with Bang the Elephant Brewing Company, which again I'm proud of. With St. Peter's Brewery, and again proud of. Of lowcostbeers.com, or aka Smiling Grape Company. And then also, you know, Lincoln Green Brewing Company, which is why I'm drinking a Lincoln Green beer today, and butterscotch of all beers. Being a Harry Potter fan, the butterscotch beer was something that I'd always wanted to do myself, and I will get round to doing it. I will get round to brewing an imperial butterscotch. Will it be a stout, or will it be an IPA, an imperial butterscotch IPA? Now there's an interesting idea, although I might have to wait until I've got some more pennies in the bank. And the culmination just recently is the Wraggys Golden Ale. It's like a sort of surreal moment to see yourself, a person who doesn't really take himself too seriously. I am a good gardener, and proper, more old-fashioned type gardening, where we do things the proper way, but in a way that's done speedily these days, because you can't be faffing around all day pruning one shrub. You know, work has to do. I mean, today I've set up, we've got a wedding marquee at work, and I've set it up as it drains off the marquee, it drains down and then just drips. Well, I've set these 2 pipes up, and then I've also set a tarpaulin area with a ridge. So all the water drips, goes down into the tarpaulin area, and then tomorrow, I didn't have time today, ran out of bloody time, all the pots will be in there, including a load of new stuff that I'm going to pot up tomorrow, and just fill it to the brim with potted plants. And the rain, when we get rain, the rain will do the watering most of the time. Not all the time, I'll have to fill it a bit with water sometimes. But the plants will thrive because they'll be moist. Moist plants grow ever so quick. Plants that starve of water, you know, they do struggle. And so today's a journey that it's been a great journey this last year. There's been ups and downs, you know. Anxiety doesn't leave you just because you feel better, but it's got better. And if there's anything I can say to people out there, you know, if you're in a bad job, if you look at what I've done over the last year and transferred into a different job, and you know, I got out of that hellhole where you dreaded every single day. Every day felt like a week. One day felt like a week at work. And it was truly an awful, awful year. Never again will I suffer that. Anyway, on with the beer. So, dark beer, it's all about the butterscotch. Lovely butterscotch nose, and butterscotch is usually in a lot of beers, it's a sign of diacetyl, basically something getting into the beer. But there's not with this. This is actually meant to be butterscotch. It is butterscotch. And it's one of my all-time favourite beers. And it's fitting that an all-time favourite beer is drank on the day a year ago, when I celebrated my, shall we say, my Freedom Day. And true Freedom Day, trust me. And although I still have nearly another 2 weeks of working at the hellhole, but you know, they tried to wriggle out of it, and I had to push all boundaries. I'd have gone to the Evening Post and newspapers and made them look as bad as I could. Don't forget that I've been a webmaster for 20 years. If I need to use social media and that to point out something that needs pointing out, I'm no issues about doing that. Should it arise, you know. Can't be doing all these wrongs in the world, need to be righted. But yeah. And to be drinking Wraggy's Golden Ale. Thank you, Lincoln Green, and the other breweries mentioned. And a lot of the people out there. There's been some great people. So many people in the chat, and they know who they are, and I salute every single one of them. And the other beer reviewers. Would I drink it again? Really? Out of 5, I don't need to give it a score. It's a top 10 beer for me. Doesn't need to be. It's 4.5%. But today it was more about the story, more about sharing that year, a year of growth, a year of transition, a year that saved me. This moment last year saved me, without a shadow of a doubt. That's why I'm still there with the wife and the kids. I probably would have been anyway, but I know it saved me. Something to take heart. Cheers, everyone.